Be patient, be present. Be patient, be present. Expanded abundance among us, expanded abundance upon us, expanded abundance in oneness, expanded abundance is wondrous, expanded abundance is justice, expected abundance is indulgence, expanded abundance among us, expanded abundance is coming. Be patient, be present. Expanded abundance among us, expanded abundance upon us, be patient, be present. Expanded abundance among us, expanded abundance upon us, be patient, be present. Expanded abundance among us, expanded abundance upon us, be patient, be present. Expanded abundance among us, expanded abundance upon us. I am by my side, I can give me hope. I am the silver lining to all of my great thoughts. I am the realignment of stars and telescopes. I am the intertwining atoms and microscopes. I am the silver lining and I am so golden vibrant. The past and future design me. Be present is so exciting. I see in front and behind me. I am on my own timing, cause I am self-centered. Leo ascended shining. I'm so
But first, paid advertisements.
degraded building. What's up, Ice? Ready to get our people right? It's the age of the curtain. The veil will be lifted. Any and everything vibrating low will be eradicated. Eliminated for those who don't know what that means. You ready to do it? Let's do it right. I got my sun in the moon, energy filling the room. My frequency is in tune. Spelling it out just for you. Looking you up, ain't no hate in the snow. Feed you the real with a fork and a spoon. This solution can't lead you to lose. I'm on the stage like I'm filling the pews. This is the options for you to choose. You cannot fly like a mile in my shoes. I do not do this shit just for the views. Stay in the chorus, I'm out to the use. Many call about the chosen the few. Calling the chosen to harvest the true. So many lies that telling you. Better decipher cause they giving clues. Right in our face where they hiding the truth. Let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Get them together. All my people out here need to know what's going on. These really out here fucking over us. Putting GMOs off our snacks and toes. Us the guys ain't even got a clue. We got sex traffickers and officers with trashy, degraded building. Trashy, degraded building. What's up, Ice?
All right. Supreme evening. I am Naga. Today's title is Finding Your Truth, Fight It or Fight for It. You look around the world and you see everybody with a potential aspect of understanding, right? But automatically, everything that's been placed in this world is because lack thereof of understanding their own particular divinity. Divine is in everyone's life, but what holds the world up is when people try to do things out of the time and place of their own growth. It's like saying, you know what, I'm gonna be baby boss. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be baby gangster. What's my man name? Um the fuck is his name, yo? The little Babyface Malone or whatever. What's the other dude name, yo? The little he was a criminal, but he had like, they said he had a baby face or something like that. He used to rob banks or whatever. I can't remember dude name, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know who I'm talking about, right? So anyway, and not for nothing, people get mixed up in this value like adulthood exists on you or something. Like, you're not a fucking adult. You're a human, but you're not an adult. You don't understand what an adult is, and you don't understand what maturity is. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to break it down to you. Because you got to find your truth and fight it or fight for it. This is the only reason why we're in this type of paradigm that we exist in. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people don't know. You really don't know what true maturity is. So most people run around believing that they're being mature when in fact they're just being children. With a bunch of children. Like, we are the most complex plants in the known universe. You know why? Because we can give birth to plants at young ages. Like, you don't see seedlings dropping seeds. That's not something that's normal. Like, when you look in the system or whatever, you don't see like baby trees dropping seeds. Like, it never happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta grow to a certain potential because they gotta be able to carry the seeds. You see what I'm saying? So we are a particular type of creation that can produce offspring or seedlings in our fair stages of existence. That's something that's not actually pointed out into a particular value as the human culture. We look at ourselves as time and space, height, width, and distance, and then we say this is the difference in between children and adults, when in fact the children are just seedlings and we are young plants. How can I say that? How can I say the children are seedlings and we are young plants? Well, because ultimately the universal aspect of what we're trying to contain or conceal to grow to a particular value doesn't state our protection as universal individuals. Peace, Queen. Peace, Queen. Appreciate you for coming through. Love and light. You already know the vibes. Um, so we are really seedlings because our bodies in this existence is only stretched to its value or its fullest potential here. You don't get a chance to go off into space or go past the normal level of atmosphere and grow within these different understandings. There are creatures that fly and exist in between heights of conscious understanding that we don't see, but they exist in this same atmosphere. These are heights and indifference. They're creatures that exist here that live in different altitudes or metabolic situations that exist that you don't get a chance to see normally with your naked eye. These are different altitudes as far as growth, but we separate them as far as animals and stuff of this nature and try to place ourselves on a higher pedestal. Well, in all actuality, we're not the particular the height of who we are as the our connection or conductivity aspect. You'll know when somebody lights turn on. You'll know when somebody's been just existing under neuromelanin for like a long time. You'll know if someone has been cycling the Naga oil, the Christos oil, up and down their 33 vertebrae every month for their whole life. You'll know if someone's been doing this or living like this. You'll know it because you'll see it. You'll understand the indifference. It was a toy they had out back in the day in the 80s called the glowworm. I don't know if everybody remember the glowworm, and it was funny to me because they made it like this little warm acceptable toy that would be in the house for all kids and all ages. And the only thing that sat in my mind when I had this damn toy was, I can glow too. That's the only thing came to my mind. And I remember as a kid playing with a glowworm. It had a hard plastic face, had a green body, you know what I'm saying? It was shaped like a worm, you know what I'm saying? And if you squeezed it, it would glow. You know what I'm saying? And when I had this toy, it would make me think to myself, I would say, damn, why they made this? Well, I probably can glow too, but my lights ain't on. I don't even know why I said this as a kid, but I was thinking about this shit earlier. Like, yo, why was thoughts that you had as a kid? Like, why would you think that over than other things? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would your mind tell you to respond to your thoughts as what you're playing with this retrospective thinking? This is something that I think about now. Like, yo, why would you even respond to it that way? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would salt make water salty? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's because it's an additive. You know what I mean? Like, it just speaks to the actual value of reality. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, you know what? Automatically, going from that point of different fruitions that took place in my life, with me getting a chance to understand different things through my existence, and now having the solidification of what I understand, it automatically put me in the notion to say, you know what, damn, yo, how was you gonna even have that as a cross reference over 40 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like 39, 38 years ago, because I was like 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? So like, how you gonna have that, you know what I'm saying, like as a retrospect? How would you be able to see that? Well, I do comprehend the value of electricity now in my body. I do comprehend the value that the Tesla coil was created behind all original beings. I do comprehend the value that the electrical synapses that's coming through my torus field is going into my body and out of my body. So that means I'm dealing with a lot more light than it's led on. We're dealing with a lot more electricity than is led on. There's been times, and I've shown people, I might lay down at night and I'll just take off my shirt and I'll turn my shirt into like this blue electrical ball and just throw the ball over there because the electricity that's coming off my hands. I've done that like plenty of times. It's like I got more control over it. And different times I would just walk and reach for a doorknob and a long ass electrical bolt will come out my finger and hit the doorknob. You know what I'm saying? But now I can control that shit a little bit. It's showing me the level of the Tesla coil energy that comes out of me naturally. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has this connection. You got to fill up your neuromelanin, and you fill up your neuromelanin by being calm enough, being still enough, staying in the right frequency. It's like saying if you got cords and you got something plugged up, that cord better work right. If that cord got a nick in it, if the copper inside that cord is broke or severed in some type of way and you don't see it, the cat chewed on it, the dog chewed on it, your cord ain't gonna plug the TV. You're gonna be sitting there trying to get the TV on, trying to get the radio to work, and you'll be like, yo, why it ain't getting no power? I know it's on. I see the red light on. It's getting enough power to show you that the eyes work. The red light came on, but the TV won't turn on. That's a different wire that's connected to the value of making that power come on. So that means the cord is severed. You see what I'm saying? You got to understand what you are and what that means for you. This is going to be your true truth. You don't really know your truth. You know what I'm saying? And then most people fight against this as a reality. Y'all walking around here getting black as fuck in the damn sun, scared of the damn sun. Like this shit bothers me. Like I see other people go through problems and I'll be like, well, these niggas out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, but how do you fight against your natural collective understanding of things? It's called addiction. It's called addiction. You're addicted to everything around you despite the value of what's given to you naturally, of who you are naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to find your truth and you got to fight for it. And you have to start fighting for it like you understand what it is. You know what I'm saying? I love to see the youth and them fighting for it right now, trying to hold on to a value that's not popular. That's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not something that's a fad. It's a way of life. And you have to understand your way of life. So therefore, you can grow conducively in your way of life. You're going to make these mistakes because you're only young plants. You're not trees yet. You're only plants and your children are seedlings. So with your weak, soft green body and your few little leaves you have, you're trying to protect seedlings. and it's not working because you're as frail as grass. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't working. This is the real issue. So nobody wants to give themselves to divine fully to get this understanding, so therefore you can strengthen yourself. You can become something more stable as you grow. It's time to grow past what you're always being pruned and cut down as. People always want to prune me. They always want to cut my branches back so I can grow more. People in my life always try to trim my branches back. Like, yo, let's cut his branches back. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop him. Let's stop him from growing forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been like that forever. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I would do? I would grow more ledges. I would just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing and be like, this goddamn plant get on my nerves. Well, yeah, it's probably gonna keep getting on your nerves because the more you cut at it, the more it's gonna grow and the more beautiful it's gonna get. That's just the power of the divine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of tree that got cut and then said, you know what? Oh my God, I'm a hardwood. I can't never grow back there again. Or oh my God, I'm grass. I have to wait till I'm watered to grow again. Or oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have those issues. If you cut me, I'm replacing it. We chameleon that spot. You cut me, I'm replacing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember having a thought a minute ago when I went through something. It was a minute ago, like a few years ago. And I heard somebody saying something about you always giving out your cups. You know what I'm saying? You give out your cups. And then when you give out your cups, you know, you're giving a part of yourself, and that a part of yourself that you're giving to somebody, they take from you. So now you're empty within that space. And I had that thought. I was like, you know what? I don't even like that for somebody saying that, Divine. Like, why they get to say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you give up your... I'm like, but what if I want to put it back? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how hard is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just want to fill my own cup back up, you know what I'm saying? And Divine was like, interesting. How would you do that? And I was like, just fill it up with divine juice. I was like, yeah, I just put my cup over here and fill it up with divine juice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody be talking, like, I hear all this stuff everybody be saying. And one thing you got to realize about existence, you got to believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you believe it, then that means a lot of things that you're believing, you're saying that divine is weakened. You know what I'm saying? By default. Like you're saying, like, you got to think about everything that you're saying, literally. If you say to yourself, yo, so and so is going to do this and do that, and you gave too much of your cup, and you did this, that, and the third, what you're saying is the individual that did these things can't turn to divine to fix anything that they got. And you're saying, uh-oh, now you're in this situation, and now this is going to happen, and this may happen. No. You always go to divine about everything. I don't care what it is in life. No, you always refer to divine about every little thing. If you can't get the connection with the person, place, or thing, the conversation that you're dealing with, if you can't get a connection with that, then you go to divine with it. There's no outside of that. The farther you go away from the source of the issue is the farther or the longer it's going to take to prolong you getting the solution to your problem. This is the reality. This is why you got to find out what your truth is and fight for it. Like, I understand what I'm capable of. I'm super I'm super both sides. Like, I'm analytical and I'm artistic. You know what I'm saying? And people will never know because I reign supreme on the art side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hold all pieces of art as my character. You know what I'm saying? But on my left side, people think my left side dead. Now my analytical side is like a gun. That shit like a razor blade. You know what I'm saying? I just don't show it much because it's inside. You know what I mean? So it gets to its highest potential when I let it be for what it is. Divine says never step out of your character to prove a point. Only time I prove points is within divinity. Like, I don't have to prove nothing. You know what I'm saying? You let divine prove itself. So I don't have an ego towards anything. You know what I'm saying? My answer is always going to be to show you how you're not going to be able to solidify that falsity against divine understanding. You know what I mean? So you're not battling me, you battling divine every single time. You know what I'm saying? And once you solidify yourself in knowledge of self-awareness, once you get knowledge of self in full understanding, and then this is why I used to, if you go back to my old bills, I used to always refer to Ptah. A lot of people don't comprehend the reason why you refer to certain things, not all things. Well, first and foremost, Ptah was the first set of classes or the first title that was given to a person who would teach the the understanding in between the universe and the earth. So the space in between was Naga. You know what I'm saying? But Ptah P. Aster or Ptah P. Aster was that's how pastor came into it. Was a teacher who taught you about your connection from the earth to the universe. So understanding what it means, you got to go back to that and get some form of a foundation, because that's where it first started at. It's a lot of knowledge in that too. So you go back and get that understanding, and you come segue from that. You segue from that because the perception of the time was different from that. So then you grow within this time, and you add on everything that's new outside of the value of what's been shown to you, but what you are aware of. You know what I'm saying? And you cross-reference those two values, and you get the understanding of time and space that you're dealing with now. So a lot of people don't understand that as a particular reference, but that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to say, oh, so-and-so did this. So I don't give a fuck about what so-and-so them did. They're not here no more. But the basis of what they did for us to be who we are now is highly important right now. You know what I'm saying? It's highly important right now because you got a lot of things going on around you, and they're still showing you high-def images of the universe, and your dumb ass believe all that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Finding and comprehending what your truth is and standing on that is very important, because your truth is particularly to the value of existence itself. But you don't look at the cells in your body as a spiritual condensation of the universe, when it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at everything as descending. Everything is descending, and it descends down, not in the way of down, how we see down as falling. And it's somewhat of an aspect of that, but it's more like the levels of going downstairs. It's like it's walking downstairs, and as the energy comes from higher aspects in the universe, it gets to the earth and it starts to go downstairs. But that depends on where you stand in this ethos. We are filters, we are conduits, so we filter this electrical energy, and through our feet it comes out, so it goes back into the earth to serve other purposes. And some people's mentality or conscious connection is deep down. This is why you always see people in a lower state of mentality. This shit goes through the earth whether you know it or not, but you got to pull yourself up out of the earth with high vibrations or high conscious awareness and high understandings. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to nobody. People are solidified and holding on to negative shit. You gotta let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can try, you can offer it, but if the taste ain't good enough to satisfy or to quench whatever's inside of you, you gotta drink what you've been drinking. I can't give you nothing but what I have. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a fight as far as the particular value and understanding what divine has done for us and what he has made for you to comprehend what that is. But if you don't know what you are, then automatically what's happening is you are blinding yourself from your own truth. With the falsified connections of reality that you live every day, you know, people want to try to be shit that they're not. But then when you cover up what you're not, and you cover up what you are with what you're not, you end up missing what's particularly for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like wearing clothes that somebody don't recognize you in, and then you step out and they like, yo, I didn't know that was you. Yeah, because you got on shit that don't fit you. It's not for you. And it threw off the energy that was coming towards you. A lot of people don't even understand how this shit works. You know what I'm saying? I love my own skin and my own, you know what I'm saying, my own self. You know what I mean? Despite what the value, I love me, and I know what divine made me capable of doing. Me explaining myself to somebody else, fuck no, I don't even do that shit no more. Like, at the end of the day, if I tell you it's something I can do, you better rock with that shit, because my word is bond. For me to sit there and waste my time and explain to you that I can actually do something, you don't take it serious, you'll never get that shit from me ever again. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't got time to. Like, I'm a real efficient person when doing anything that divine gave me. If divine told me I can do this and I've learned it to the max, and you don't believe in that shit, that sounds like a personal fucking issue. I don't got time for none of that. I'm as efficient with the things that I know as any professional or pro that's walking on this planet. Me bragging about that shit, nah, I don't gotta tell nobody that shit. I just go do some fly shit real quick, and they be like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, it was lightning. That's how fast it went by. You know what I'm saying? Like, real quick. You can get with it and rock with it and grow with it, or stay behind, because I'm going to do it eventually. It's just majority of the time when you put your energy into other people, literally think about it. You're putting your energy into the idea of trusting other people. So that means you're decreasing your value of the energy that you have for the project that you want to put into existence. So all that energy that you put out into belief in the other people, it took energy from the energy that you was going to use to do what you had to do. Now that energy is gone when you step away from certain things. So now you got to rebuild that shit up. My mind is so sharp right now. This shit is crazy, yo. Like, I don't know about other people, but there is no emotional aspect of existence that I literally hold on to unless you're constantly doing it and I pick it up in the ether. Then I'm like, yeah, I can see that. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has an etheric body. Everybody has an etheric body. Even evil shit has etheric bodies. You can see when they move through the ether. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even hard. You know what I mean? It's intention. That's what it is. It's all intentions, and everything that we live in existence is a body of etheric water. So anything that moves in water does what? Make a wave. It just depends on how deep you are in the water. So that's what I meant by being deep down. Is the frequencies really getting to you, or are you high up enough to the surface? Do you listen to my bills? I say when I meditate, I see a surface of water on my face. I see a surface of water on my face, like golden water, like I can see shit walking on the shore. It's like I'm laying right there by the surface of it. So some people might be so deep down they get no frequency. That's why they act the way they do. You know what I'm saying? And some people might be in the middle. That's why they can vibe with you. You know what I'm saying? But we are all deep down in the ether. We're so deep down. That's why we're trapped in a dome. You know what I'm saying? Like we're under the ether at like the deepest point. But your spiritual connection, your etheric body is floating outside of this. The blue color that we keep talking about, it's crazy that this just came up in my thoughts because, you know, I was thinking about it the other day and I wanted to respond to somebody, but I didn't get a chance to think about it. But yeah, ultimately, this is why people don't see the sky as what the color is outside in the universe. The sky is blue right now because it's the color of the souls that didn't get a chance to transmute. So it's a blue reflection. It's a blue reflection of the soul. So the soul's light itself is reflecting off of the color of the universe outside. When in fact our universe, we would really have like a yellow sky or like a green sky sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Or even a black sky, you know what I'm saying? But automatically we can't have that right now because of how much solar energy or souls that came out of their bodies and died and is actually encasing us in the earth. It's the reason why you have a blue sky. And the reflection on the eyes of the Caucasians, why their eyes are so blue, is because it was the mark of the sin. So no, this is not a disrespectful put out to anything of no value like that. It's not a racist thing, but back in the day when the sin was cast, this was the destruction. So when the soul left the body, it was the stain of the blue light rising up. So you were like stuck watching a soul leave a body while you were stuck here for your acts. So that stayed stained on your face forever. So, you know, that's like some other shit. That's like high level spiritual condemnation or some shit like that. It's like what you did in a certain aspect like deprived you of universal energy. So it's like literally killing a universal being absorbs your universal energy and you're left deprived. It's like worse than death when I take everything from you. So the reminder is the fact that the blue is it just gets deep. And I read that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it should get real deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go too much, but it was deep, yo. Like, I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And you look at the solidification of what flesh has to play a part in certain existences. It's the reason why. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the reason why flesh is so important. You know what I'm saying? Like, even actually looked at as a value of nutrition. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like we can't get past the truth of the reality that we actually live in this foundation. But you gotta separate two understandings. What would make that solidified? Like, what would make it solidified in a way of thought patterns? Like, yo, why would we think to season that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you think to take little Fluffy and, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like people haven't always had pets. You know what I'm saying? And if you go back to Africa, and it's that whole thing to Africa and the Indians, you know what I'm saying? Even the ancient tribes that were here, from a long time ago, know that they were here by way of Africa. But the problem is people want to tie in time frames. Everybody's trying to tie in time frames and existences and events. And if this event took place, how did these people didn't know that this was going on? And like, you're still looking for shit to blame. And automatically, the connection from Indians to Africa is real, whether they want to know it. But the problem is, this is the real problem. The times that exist that solidified culture and freedom has been erased. That's what has been moved. So when the times and the stories and in wars taking place and the actual dichotomy of the circumstances that took place in these times were actually erased completely, you are left with a gap to fill it up with understandings lack thereof of what you know. Like if you don't know this culture was ever over there, but you knew it was something over there, that means you didn't know what was going on, but you knew they was existing. So then the people that existed at that time might have been your elders, but they knew more of that value than you did, and you was a kid, so your understanding of what that was not fulfilled, but they knew. And if they die, then that takes away everything that you should know about that place that you never knew nothing about in the first place. So this is the problem that they're having with trying to connect Indians to Americans, or urban Americans, and American Indians, indigenous Indians to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So that time frame is actually real. Like I don't really get into that debate because I knew who my great grandmother was. My great grandmother on my father's side was tall, beautiful, and jet black, and she was Dominican here by way of Ivory Coast. She was labeled as a Dominican, okay, but she ain't look like no Dominican. She looked like an African, and her people came from the Ivory Coast. You know what I'm saying, of Africa. So you know what I mean. That's just my father's side of the family, and then my mom's side of the family, my grandmom's and her sister, my nana told me that they came from St. Kitts, the island. And it's a whole tribe out there that look like my nana and my nana and my grandma. Like they facially, they all look the damn same. Like even the president of St. Kitts looks like my Uncle Junior. Like, and his last name is the same last name as my family last name. Like I think about shit like that. Like, yo, that shit's crazy. And those are Indians in those islands that came here via through Louisiana up to New York back in the day. But they know their history was here via Africa. So this is why I don't even get into the debate about people talking about we not from Africa, we just Indians. Yes, we are Indians, but yes, we are African. And if you go back farther enough in Africa to the deepest latent information, they'll tell you that it was two types. It was the kinky head and the straight hair, and they both was dark as shit. You know what I'm saying? That they was brothers, the kinky hair and the straight hair, and they just said that this was a time that existed before we have documentation, as far as I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of documentation. You know what I mean? But they both split into land masses and created foundations, but they all was from a motherland source. And let's be clear about motherland source. This land, and understand what land is before you can criticize spaces and countries and all this other dumb shit. Land is like a cork. To have dirt, to have sand and shit like that, that ain't nothing but breakdowns of bodies. Everything was aquatic. And water was constantly coming in from the ethers. It's filtered through other death and aquatic situations that's deep under. That pressure that's like life that existed before you even understood anything about existence, before a human ever existed. So you got to understand what Earth is truly. Earth is the breakdowns of dead anything, because the whole universe is full of ether. There is no nothing for landmass. There is no, hey, let's just make an island over here. No, the whole universe is ether. Everything is ether. So anywhere there's land, that's a giant breakdown of some form of something created in a mass that deteriorated down to sand, bones, and ash. Literally. Whether you know this or not, can comprehend it or not, yes, these are creations created through the ether that broke down. So even the grounds under the water was old something that we have no clue about. Facts. For millions and billions and gajillions of years. Facts. So even the earth that we're standing on now is breakdown. So we got to look at earth as a capstone. Earth is a cap to the etheric flow that allows it to come into this place. This is why we have layers. They want to tell you about the ice ring that's around is really steps. It's steps in a way that we can't really see, and it's flowing over with etheric water. And the steps are large, but they're not larger than the etheric opening. So it's like where we are is the bottom, and then it's like the ice wall, and it's a step out like this, and then it goes up like this, and it's another step, and it goes up like this, and it's another step. So they want to show you that inverted. That's why they make the world round as a circle, because you can't see that we're dipped in literally, and where you have to step out, but you grow. You grow with universal energy. Now, with all of the impurities and all the circumstances, the what they call it, cadmium or whatever they put in the air, all the bullshit they're using to block out the neuromelanin, they know there's gonna be a time where the bodies are gonna the actual universal proteins that are in universal beings is going to start illuminating. The glowworm aspect is going to happen. When this glowworm aspect starts to happen, this is when you start to go through a transformation for a period of time. This I'm not aware of through my downloads of how long the transformation takes place, but the light starts to come to the surface and sigils are opened under your flesh, all right, which allow the direction of the light to entail what's going to happen. So back in the day, when this happened to our people, they gained halos. Some of them would glow, their full bodies would have a glow on it. Some of them would have a glow around their heads. You know what I'm saying? Some would have a glow around their heads and around their hearts. You know what I'm saying? Some would have three rings. There would be a ring around from the waist under the feet, and a ring around the entire body, and a ring around the entire head. So the light opens up in particular ways. I'm sorry. Can you turn your volume up? It's loud as I can get it. It's all the way up. I'm sorry, yo. It's just this computer. It don't really give me no justice. But if you can, just turn up your system for me or whatever. So so the light starts to come out of each and every one of us in particular ways. This is how you start to get a chance to perceive light outside of you. When you see it shining from the sun, you see it reflecting off the moon. You see it traveling and stretching in different ways when you're riding around in the city, and how light travels in your eyes. These things are giving you familiarity of what's going to happen to you. Even with Tesla's understanding, is giving people different understandings on the existence of who you are as a divine being. Now you have a different form of a frequency of light that actually ignites around you all the time, but because the particular lights that we use every day, you know what I mean, it doesn't allow it to be seen. You would scare the shit out of people if people can see how much you spark and glow. The little pinks and blues and yellow lights, these are smaller lights that exist here. So it actually happens on you so much you can't see it. But if they ever change their frequency, you would look like a Tesla ball. You'll be just sparking like psh, 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 psh. Shit is mad cool. It's cool as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wish someone would create an experience to show original people that shit, because you literally do light up. Whether you know it or not, you light up all the time. Like, it's so many little colorful lights that sparkle around you, because the hairs on your body, like, they connect. And sometimes I catch them. Like, I'll be looking at myself, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm thinking that it's something popped up, but then my notice game started getting real sharp, like somebody tuned the dial to what I'm able to notice. And I would catch the electricity arcing over from one hair to another. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And I would get goosebumps watching that shit take place. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's crazy right there. So we actually do charge, and we arc like Tesla coils. You know what I'm saying? So um, keeping in mind, this is what the universe is trying to have us go towards, to fill up the actual compartments of neuromelanin that completely cover your whole entire body, your whole giant organ. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand what that capability is, and how long it's going to take for you, depending on what you're putting in. You know what I mean? I'm also learning a lot of other things about my body as I break through certain time frames of how long I'm doing these things, and it's like teaching me so much more. So do the natural things that you're trying. Look, I just seen another one pop up right there. Do the natural things, like, they like, yo, keep going. Do the natural things that allow you to come closer towards the sun. Anything that allows you to pull in more neuromelanin, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have foods that that produce melanin. Leaves that like curry leaves, they naturally produce a certain level of melanin. Like eat electrical foods, get into the sun, work your way up that stairwell. You know what I'm saying? That allow you to get a full optimum spectrum of light that you can download into yourself. And when you do that, you're gonna start seeing changes yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I got little changes to where like if I work, like I can not work out, right? I can not work out for like a couple weeks, and then I work out and my muscles start swelling up like I was like, damn, I look tight, yo, like an action figure and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, if I take off my shirt, my shit is nicely ripped and a nice swell to it. You know what I'm saying? Like so, as soon as I work out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I work out a little bit, like the energy just it just like you know what I mean. And that's the electricity. You know what I mean? That's the electricity. If I do it in the sun, it's the same thing. Sometimes I could be in the sun on the monkey bars or whatever. I'm just holding them. I'm not even working. I'm just holding it. And because I'm holding my muscles a certain way, they start to like swell to give my body more strength. And I'm not even moving. I'm just holding it. So it just shows you a lot of things the body is capable of doing that we're not aware of and stuff of this nature. And the mind is going to start apping to these things that your body's aware of or learning the awareness of, and then automatically you're going to start working in unison with your mind and your body, which is going to start showing you more about yourself. But the class of study of you should already be writing it down. Everything that happens in your life is leading you to understand the frequencies that you deal with, whether they're good or bad. And you have to write these things down so you can know the difference, so you can start pulling in the right frequency that's going to allow you to charge up your neuromelanin and take you to be another being. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, that's what's really going on with the universe right now. I ain't going to hold y'all, you know what I'm saying? But I love y'all. I love y'all with all of me because you got life. You got light, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all my peoples, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate when y'all come through and y'all listen and get this divine jewel, because it's not about me. I'm just a conduit. I get the message and I give it out, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm here for. And I was going to bring one earlier, but then I understood, I should let it rest, you know what I mean? And give my space and my time to the divine. And sometimes we can get carried away with what we think we're doing as far as bringing a message, but in some aspect that's kind of selfish too if it's always about you running out with the message, you know what I'm saying? So understand it's not about the message, it's about the connection with who you are and what you are. And once you start spending time in that energy, the messages are going to come so much more clearer. You're going to have so much more to share with people, but then automatically you're not going to be in a rush because you're going to know everything is in divine's hands. You already know the vibes. Naga.